Have you ever felt like someone you love is constantly pushing you away and yet somehow they keep coming back? Like they need you but can't let themselves get too close? What if I told you they do need you more than you know, but their attachment system just doesn't know how to express it? My name is Luna A. May, and I am a life and attachment style coach and author of books on attachment styles. What attachment style are you? And understanding and overcoming anxious attachment. And I leave the links to my books in the description box below, so I encourage you to check them out. And in today's video, we're going deep, not just into avoidant patterns, but into the hidden emotional needs of avoidant individuals. Hidden needs that they rarely express, even to themselves. So let me tell you about my client, Emily. I changed the names for the purpose of this video, of course. So she came to me emotionally exhausted. She had been dating a man named David for almost 7 months. And in the beginning, it was all beautiful. He was charming, attentive, and romantic. But after around 3-month mark, things started to shift. Emily would open up emotionally and David would pull back. She tried to initiate deeper conversations, and he was either changing the subject or making a joke. He stopped planning the dates and became busy. And when she asked him where the relationship was going, he said something like, "Can't we just enjoy what we have? Why do we have to label everything?" So Emily was heartbroken, you can imagine. She was really confused also. So she told me that it feels like he needs me because he always comes back and he opens up in small moments, but the moment it gets too close, he vanishes. So what's really going on inside the avoidant? Avoidantly attached individuals have a nervous system that interprets emotional closeness as threat. So even if they are drawn to you, and they often are, that same closeness can trigger a subconscious fear of losing independence, of being overwhelmed, of being criticized, or even controlled. So they may genuinely need the connection, they may need your warmth, your safety, but they might struggle to receive it. It's like being thirsty and afraid of water at the same time. So Emily said she'd often feel him soften when she stopped pushing. He'd become more affectionate after she backed off. But those moments never lasted, and the cycle kept repeating and repeating, 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. Avoidants often come back after distance, not necessarily to manipulate, but because your presence regulates them emotionally in a way that they can't create on their own. They find a kind of calm in you that they don't even know how to articulate. They may not say, "I missed you," but they show up unexpectedly. When they do open up, it's often not with big emotional declarations, but in small, subtle ways. They might share a story about their childhood, something difficult that they're going through at work, or even just a small detail about how they're feeling that day. These aren't random. They are their way of reaching out for connection. Even physical presence can be a form of closeness for them. They may not say much, but they want to be near you, to do things for you. That's how they often care. Emotional intimacy for avoidance often comes through action rather than words. And it's important to learn how to read those signs for what they are, as attempts of connection, despite their fear. So you need to understand that many avoidants grew up in environments where emotional needs were either dismissed or even shamed. Perhaps they were taught to value independence above all else, or maybe their caregivers were emotionally unavailable, unpredictable, or overwhelmed themselves. So, in those early moments, they learned that to stay safe, they had to rely on themselves and avoid needing too much from anyone. And that imprint carries into adulthood. So, even when they find someone who is emotionally safe, their inner child panics. It says, what if I lose myself? What if I become weak? The very thing they desire, which is the deep connection, feels like a threat to their survival. But the adult avoidance still craves what you offer: the consistency, warmth, emotional depth. That craving creates an inner conflict which they try to resolve by pulling away and then coming back. It's not logical, but it's deeply wired. So, coming back to my client Emily, she was tired. She wanted to feel chosen, not chased. So, we worked on creating emotional safety, not just for David, but for herself. She stopped over functioning. She stopped over explaining. She let go of trying to convince David. And she began using language that was clear, grounded, and self honoring. She said things like, I enjoy being with you, but I need emotional clarity and mutual effort. If you're not sure what you want, I completely understand, but I have to be honest about what I'm looking for. That boundary didn't push David away. In fact, it gave him something new: an emotional, clear partner who wasn't trying to rescue him, but also wasn't abandoning herself. It gave him space to reflect without pressure. And over the following weeks, something shifted, and David began to open up. He started asking her about her day in more detail. He began planning dates again, and he even started seeing a therapist. So eventually, he told her something that stuck with her. He said, I don't want to lose you. Being with you is the only place I feel calm, even when I act like I don't. Your emotional presence offers what avoidants secretly long for: stability, acceptance, warmth, and the possibility of connection without fear. With you, they feel what secure love could feel like, even if they can't put words to it. You become a mirror for them, a steady presence, a safe base. But here is the key: this only works when you don't abandon yourself in the process. If you shrink yourself to hold space for them, if you silence your needs to keep the peace, the connection becomes unbalanced. And in that imbalance, even the avoidant loses the very thing that they subconsciously needed: your grounded emotional availability. Real growth in an avoidant secure dynamic happens when you model consistency without pressure, when you hold boundaries with grace, and when you allow them the dignity of making their own decision to step in or to step out. So, yes, the avoidant may need you, not to fix them, not to save them, but because your energy, your steadiness, your secure presence offers something they've really felt: emotional oxygen. And when you stay anchored in your self worth, that's when connection, the real mutual connection, has the space to grow. Let me know in the comments: have you ever felt needed by someone avoidant, even if they couldn't say it? What helped you hold your ground? Thanks for being here, and see you in the next video.